What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ryan Meyer's Expeditions. We're still here in San Diego. We were gonna go for bluefin today, but the weather is just not gonna quite let it happen. So instead, I'm gonna go back out there and look again for that white sea bass that I saw the other day. Today we're with the crew of Kinetic spear guns. They make these really cool spear guns here. I'm gonna be able to test one of these things out, but more importantly, we're test driving one of their new charter boats that are also running charters out here in Southern California for bluefin, yellowtail, these big giant white sea bass. We're actually gonna run out of Southern California, cross the Mexican border, and go fish in Mexican waters. So to do that, I had to get my Mexican fishing license. We got our visas set up.
Biosphere bracelets. We got the manifest squared away. Yeah, we're gonna head across the border. Right there, we're inside of 12 nautical miles, so you need that paperwork to do that legally.
Sweet.
We got it.
So we're all legit.
Today we're just gonna take out the K55 and we got a K60 in the boat. Just standard reef gun here, real setup. It's just a 2 to 3 band model made of old growth Burmese teak. Just kind of an all-around reef gun. It works well out of the Coronado Islands for white sea bass and yellowtail or big calicos or something like that.
If you watch my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of those carbon fiber, small type single rollers, but this wooden gun is very much built along those lines. We only got 2 bands on it. You got it with the double wrap, yeah?
Double wrap.
Double wrap, 7.5 mil shaft with the slip tip. So definitely enough power to make use of those double bands and have that slip tip to hold in some of those, you know, a little bit softer pelagic fish out here, like the white sea bass and the yellowtails. But for now, we're finishing up fueling the boat. We got a long run ahead of us, and we'll see you guys over on the site. So as soon as we got in the water, it was apparent that I was feeling a lot better than I had a couple days before, and swimming around in that 5 mil wetsuit, being pushed by those carbon fiber fins was definitely a whole lot more effective than those plastic fins I was using before. So my first few dives, I really just kind of want to get oriented with the ocean, get my ears nice and right, and feel good so I can get into that really nice, efficient hunting mode. So I'm diving right next to Blake for some of our first couple drops, and he swims down, sticks a nice yellowtail, and then I swim down and I completely whiff. But wait and see what happens, guys. Absolutely, we're still to this day, don't know what happened, but somehow Blake got 2.
Okay, what? What's going on, but this one just stuck. I just grabbed it in the hand. What the I don't know. That's crazy. I just put that bitch like in my arm and swam up.
I was like, what the f do you mean you have 2?
Hey, when you're good, you're good.
Right? Holy shit.
Oh, nice fucking fish. Get him in the head right there.
No, I brained him. This guy doesn't have a mark on him. That's amazing. I missed mine and you get 2.
So I'm still not exactly sure what happened, but somehow that fish got stunned right after Blake shot his. So he grabbed that one, had the other one on the line. I took the second one from him, I don't even know. But clearly there was a lot of fish around today. So on my next drop here, I get down and again, big school of yellowtails cruising through, and I do not want to miss this one. I'm like, whatever happens, please don't miss. Center body shot, luckily strung this fish and had my first fish of the day. So from here, we had kind of pissed off the fishermen enough, and it was like, well, let's go check a couple more spots, and maybe we'll see if there's some white sea bass over here. And Blake was actually like, I know that there's some over here in this little nook. I've seen them here before, let's go check it. So of course, this is like my dream fish. I've been wanting one of these things my entire life since I used to read Spearboard back in the day and hear about how cool these fish were over here on this California coast. And to do this dive right here and to really have no clue what I'm doing and to have seen one a couple days before and then have this whole entire school pop up out of nowhere. And then guys, check this out. Absolutely devastating, a complete whiff. I have no idea why. I just shot low and was completely heartbroken. From there, we moved back up onto the point where the water was really dirty, but clearly there was a lot of life going on. There was a lot of action, and maybe I'd go shoot some more yellowtail was kind of the thought. But when I dropped down here in the murk, above the bottom, hovering in this 20-30 foot section, you guys will not believe it, but I got another chance at my dream fish. Check this out, like a true ghost right beside me, turned, waited for him to come into range, took the shot, shot low. I don't know what I was thinking, but the third shot of the day that was definitely a little low, but managed to hold and land my first ever white sea bass. white sea bass! Woohoo!
That's a dream fish right there, bro.
From that point on, the diving was just absolute madness. The sun was going down quickly, the birds were diving, there was bait everywhere, the water was really dark and scary and dirty, but guys, it was on fire.
What a spot. You get another one?
Hey, we're gonna do it more.
We're what? Holy shit, there's fish everywhere.
We got like another fucking 30-40 minutes of shooting light.
Get the out of here.
Yeah.
Put me back in.
You got it. Got a little sea biscuit.
Little sea biscuit. The final minutes.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Little booty guy.
It's like food to me.
Little snacker.
Unbelievable day out here in Southern California. Guys, I cannot recommend this trip enough. Kinetic spearfishing on their new boat, the real deal. Plowed through some unbelievable waves all day long. We saw fish from the moment we got out here. I mean, we left the dock at like 1 o'clock. I shot 2 beautiful white sea bass, my first ever, 2 stud yellowtails. We got a mess of fish, check this out. So we got back really late last night and we had all those fish to clean. And I didn't have like a proper table to do like my full perfect method. So when that kind of happens, what I'll do is I'll try and keep everything as clean as possible, but as intact as possible. So I won't take the skin off, I won't trim out any of the bones, any of the bloodlines. My goal is to get as much meat off of that fish as possible while still trying to keep everything super clean. And then throw all this stuff in the fridge overnight into Ziploc bags. Gets all goopy, there's a ton of, juice that comes out, kind of red blood, all that stuff that you don't want. And then the next day, I'm gonna put them on a saltwater brine. And that's gonna like firm them up, kind of rinse them off a little bit, and then I'll be able to really take my time here and trim everything up, wrap in paper towels, vacuum seal the stuff that I'm actually gonna freeze and give to my brother, and then leave the stuff that I'm not gonna freeze and I'm actually gonna take back to Hawaii. I'm gonna leave that fresh, I'm not gonna freeze it. I'm just gonna keep wrapping it in paper towels and keep changing those paper towels as we go every day or two. So I went and bought this tub at Target and I got a whole bunch of just regular salt, and I'm just gonna create a really nice brine here before I put that ice in there, and then I'm just gonna let it chill for a little bit. Mix that up. Salty like the ocean. No Hawaiian salt here, so we're using what we got. So you can see those chunks of fish. See all those juice dripping. All that juice that's been accumulating from, the blood and the skin and the scales and all that kind of stuff. Whereas if I tried to fillet that right now and trim it up, I would really struggle. I'd use a lot of paper towels trying to like wipe everything perfectly clean. Instead, I'm gonna put it all in this brine. I'm gonna give it 20 minutes and it's gonna really firm up and really clean up. So everybody's been chilling in the brine for a little bit. It is freezing. Not as firm as I'd like, but they're close. I'm gonna take them, dry them, and then pull those fillets off and keep them real pretty. So after I get it nice and dry, I'm just gonna find that bloodline, cut straight down to the skin, and then bend it over to the side, and pull off an almost perfect meat, but I screwed it up there. Kinda wanna get that whole skin off at one time, which I didn't, but hopefully right here. We'll try again. Something like that there. And then I'll take him and I'll finish up the trim to make it really completely perfect. I don't want any of this kind of belly stuff up in there. I really want to make it as good as I can make it because all this stuff is coming back to Hawaii with me. So I want to make sure that whatever I'm bringing back is absolutely perfect. He's gonna get wrapped up in paper towels just like this. And he's actually gonna go right into the Ziploc bag, wrapped up like this. And you don't wanna vacuum seal the stuff that you're not gonna freeze. And the reason for that is that it's gonna leak in your fridge and then it's gonna continuously cause juice and it's gonna soak in its own juice. So instead you take it like this, you wrap it up in this paper towel, you put it in the Ziploc, and then tomorrow, the next day, you change out these paper towels. And you'll go in there, you'll take the paper towels out, all that juice that's kind of accumulated on the paper towels then gets thrown away, fresh paper towels, and this is kind of how you get the maximum life out of your fish. Now to take these home, I'm not gonna freeze them. I'm gonna take them home just like this, but I'm gonna put some ice blocks, some of those like, you know, freezer block things that you buy, and I'm gonna put those in a little cooler, and I'm gonna fit as much of this fish in there as I can to take it back to Hawaii. All right, so I just got home with all that fish, and I'm gonna do two different things basically with these two different species that are really very different. I've got that beautiful yellowtail right here, and that yellowtail is definitely more of like an oily, we either eat it like raw as hamachi or we smoke it. So because this is kind of like 4 or 5 days old at this point, I'm gonna smoke all of this. And got a brand new smoker from the Miguez family. Thank you guys so much. But I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put it in a brine first, and then I'm gonna let it like dry out in my, just right in the middle of my house, trying to keep the cats away. But I'll tell you guys kind of that brine recipe. I'll put that down below. It's basically just brown sugar, white sugar, salt, and water. And we're gonna see what happens. And then I'm gonna take that white sea bass and I'm gonna freeze some of it. Now I don't usually freeze any fish, but out here in Hawaii, we don't get that type of like good freezable fish very often. We're like, I don't have like a lot of uku or like a lot of snapper or a lot of grouper like out here very often. And that type of like white groupery, flaky fish tends to hold up pretty well in the freezer if you get it real nice and dry and you vacuum bag it down. So I'm gonna throw this yellowtail in the brine, and then I'm gonna vacuum bag up that white sea bass. So I left this skin on to kind of help that smoking process, but you can see how good this fillet looks. And there we go. I'm gonna let them sit for like an hour, and then I'm gonna let it kind of all dry out. Stop it. You stay away. Stay away. Okay, so I've got all my fish wrapped in paper towels. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take these nicest sections. So basically the nicest pieces of fish, and I'm gonna freeze them. I'm gonna trim off as much of this red as I can and then vacuum seal them up. Smaller sections aren't really worth freezing. So these are the ones that I'm gonna eat right now. Tail sections for the cats. You guys go. And there we go, guys, some sea bass for a rainy day. And you can see how good this looks. How appetizing this looks. You want to pull this out of the freezer and eat it. When you got a bunch of these little nuggets, and they're frozen, it's just even harder to pull them out, defrost them, and eat them. So these are the ones we're gonna eat right now. Okay, so it's been like an hour. Let's see how they look. Nice. So I don't want to wash this off. I want to let these guys develop like a pellicule, I think it's called, where it gets like sticky and tacky and dry on the outside. That has something to do with the smoking, lets the smoke get in there, I don't know. But I'm gonna leave these guys out now sitting in the AC for a couple hours and probably have my most challenging part of this whole entire process, keeping them away from the cats. Not for you. Well, how's that setup, guys? Here on the beach, I'm gonna take all that yellowtail that I let dry. So I let it out, like just lay outside in the house for like 3-4 hours till it got really like tacky, sticky. And I don't know what that does exactly, but apparently that's critical. So I'm gonna put all that in the smoker right away, and then we're gonna cook up some of that sea bass. Real simple, another one of my favorite beach easy recipes. Blackened seasoning with a little bit of oil right onto the hot pan. Boom. Once again, Britta Dale's always found herself to a free meal.
It's definitely not for Ryan's company.
The people want to know. What do we think of with a white sea bass?
See. I like the mango on it. It's a little overcooked.
Is it? Looks dry. You gave me a flat piece.
I'm so sick of you. Perfectly cooked.
It looks dry.
Get out of here.
It's a little more firm than I would want.
All right, guys, I'm newly single. I'm looking for some new girls to feed on the beach. I had some new girls to smoke fish for, grill fish for right here at Pines. Send me my, slide into the DMs, guys. Slide into the DMs. I'm ready.
You can't say that.
Okay, but to be honest, the smaller pieces were a little overcooked, but the bigger pieces were much better.
So all we do is blacken that white sea bass, throw a mango pineapple chutney on top of it over a bed of rice. Fantastic. I don't know what the girls, you're out of your mind. Delicious. The easiest thing in the world to make.
We're gonna take that smoked fish and turn it into a Florida style fish dip. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time on Ryan Meyer's Expeditions.